Okay, Allan Harris.
Hey.
Welcome to Australian Musician and welcome to Australia.
Well, thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, it's your first trip here.
First time.
Yeah. Your website bio tells us that your inspiration, or one of the inspirations for getting into music, was seeing a poster of Jimi Hendrix in a guitar shop. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, yeah, that's one of them. That's a main factor when I picked up the guitar. I was coming home from school and went past a barbershop called Mr. Matter of fact, I had hair back then. I was a kid, maybe 10 years old. Just started to play guitar. And I saw it was raining. I remember looking at the window of the barbershop where they cut my hair, which was down the block from my home. And I saw a poster of this guy in a white leather fringed jacket playing this white Stratocaster. I didn't know what Stratocaster was at the time. Pair of velvet pants, some white suede boots, a band, Big Fro, and he was playing in front of a giant crowd on the poster, Woodstock. I lost my mind. I said, I'd never seen anything like it. And out of the doorway came wafting this wonderful music, man. I think they were playing Purple Haze. And Mr. Cook, the barbershop guy, he was gracious enough. He gave me the album. I wore it out. And it just changed me as a young boy of color at the time, because I'd never seen an image like that, never. My father, of course, my uncles, Sidney Poitier movies, football players, athletes, but never seen a man that demonstrative before. Yeah.
So what was your first guitar?
My guitar was it was a Sears Silvertone, I think. The old Silvertone my Aunt Theodosia got for me secondhand. And the strings were that high off, it was hard to play. But I picked out a few notes, and from there I moved on to other axes.
Yeah. Jimmy was an inspiration for guitar. Mm-hmm. Where did jazz come into the picture?
Well, my mother was a performing artist. She was first graduating class from a school called Performing Artists in New York, School for Performing Arts. And if you ever see the movie, the series Fame, I'm Gonna Live Forever, that was a school. She was the first graduating class from that school. And she was a classical pianist. So in my household, there was nothing but music. You know, from Nat King Cole to Doris Day to country to R&B, Motown. So it was just through osmosis that I couldn't run away from this music.
Yeah. A lot of singers with your quality of voice wouldn't bother playing guitar, but you've always had the guitar with you. Is that something you'll always continue to do, play guitar on stage?
No, I was told by a few mentors of mine. One of them was Tony Bennett. And they said, look, you have a really great voice. You do, but you need to really develop how to sing a melody, how to tell a story. What you need to do is just put the guitar down for a little bit. I mean, it's always going to be part of you, but learn how to use your hands and your body language. Because he says when you're singing, you don't know what to do with your hands when you have the guitar. It's distracting. I said, really? And somebody taped me playing. I saw it, I studied it, I said, oh wow, I look like I'm fidgeting here. So I did, I put the guitar down for about 1.5 years to develop my stage persona. You know, because there's a lot more than just delivering a lyric to the voice. To my mannerism, the first thing I learned to do, which Tony helped me, was stop moving your hands around. Sing a song straight through, without all this, arms akimbo. So just stop it. And sing the melody straight first. Don't worry about all that scat and stuff yet. You got that. Do that later. It was the hardest thing I ever did. You know, keep your hands in, just sing a song straight. And that helped. Then I started to bring the guitar back into play, and I really married the two together.
Yeah. So what's your main electric guitar now?
Oh boy, I play everything. I have a Strats, Les Paul. I was endorsed by Gibson for a while, but Les Paul. And now I'm endorsed by D'Angelico. D'Angelico has given me a wonderful guitar. He gave me a semi-hollow body. I love it. But I was scared to travel to China with it because I don't have the proper case for it yet. I have a case for my Les Paul and that, which is on order. The case should be waiting for me at home. I hope it's there. So I played that a lot in D'Angelico. It has a nice feel. It has a feel of a solid body married with a 335. It's really nice. D'Angelico's done a wonderful job with it. The neck is great because I have long fingers, so they really paired the neck to me. That's the guitar that I'm more or less have a relationship with now.
Yeah. And what amp do you usually play through?
It varies, everyone goes, since I travel so much, and I use a Fender Twin because it's the easiest to get when you're on a gig, and it has just raw, clean sound, good reverb. But I have a lot of pedal boards that compensate, a lot of pedals that can simulate different tube sounds, overdrives, sounds from a Marshall to a little small AC amp. It varies.
Yeah.
The pedals help now. It's such a different day than when I was a youngster. What they can do now with called stomp boxes. It's amazing how you just. I used to carry ammo cases with me with racks and that. Now it's you have a little nylon pedal board case with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pedals in it, and you can more or less, you're ready to go. You can fill up an arena with that sound.
What's your favorite pedal?
Wow. It depends on the guitar that I'm playing. If I'm doing an R&B gig tinged with jazz, I tend to go with Old Faithful. I'll do a tube screamer, Ibanez tube screamer, with a reverb unit and a Boss chorus to give some sound and a digital delay. And I have a few other boutique pedals which compensate for it, but it's like sniffing perfume. After a while, you can't smell. After a while, one pedal marries into another, and guitar players are that way. We're always looking for the perfect sound. The perfect sound is here. Yeah. I have my Old Faithfuls, but basically I try to just keep it small and standard and keep it clean.
Yeah. You've got a beautiful acoustic with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tell us about this.
Yeah, this is I travel with the Taylor guitar. I'm endorsed by them a little bit. Now D'Angelico has been in the market now making acoustics, and I think when I get home to New York, it'll be waiting for me, a new D'Angelico acoustic, which is really fine. The guy who invited me here, who owns the club, Albert, he's a guitarist himself, and I'm sure he has a myriad of guitars. He has the ways and means to buy them. I asked him, I said, look, I didn't bring my acoustic with me. Do you have anything? He said, don't worry, I'll bring you something to the gig. And there's a Martin. Got me a Martin. It's already set up nice. I love the way it plays. Good warm tone. The Martin's been around, what can I say about Martin? It's just, it's the workhorse of so many instrumentalists, from country music to whatever. It's a great guitar. And I'm sure this one cost him a pretty penny, because the sound guy who's in charge of it keeps giving me, the first night before you heard me play, he gave me that look like this. He handed it to me as if he was handing me some scepter. Here is Albert's guitar. Please take care of it. I said, don't worry, I will. Now he's fine.
So do you write on acoustic?
I write a lot, of course. Yeah, I have a numerous, on each CD project that I have, I put at least half of the number of tunes on there. I try original stuff. It's hard to gauge when you talk about yourself how your writing is, but I basically write depending upon where my head is at the moment, what project I'm doing, and I try to pick. So I have a myriad of tunes, of course, as every songwriter says. I have hundreds of songs to pick from. I do. But fortunately for me, I have an entourage of people who know me well, and they listen to songs that I do, and they go, no, yes, no, maybe. So they basically help me pick out what songs I'm going to present that I've written. And sometimes it'll be a solo piece where I completely do the writing myself, or sometimes I'll do the skeleton of it, melody, lyrics, chord structure, and bring it to the band that I have, and they'll more or less put their little machinations on it compared to who they are. I wouldn't say, I think it was in the peripheral of my mind, and a lot of other people, when they hear the song, I've always heard of the song, but my producer, Brian Michelle Bacchus, he produced Gregory Porter and a number of Nora Jones. He picked some songs for me, and I fought him on this. He said, you're gonna do this song, you should do this song from Spiral Staircase. And I said, really? And I started listening to it, and he said, just put your own juice in it. And we did. And so it was in the key of F, I think it was. I put it in A flat, just my voice. And we opened up with the same timbre and the same arrangement they did. We did that, and from there we took off. As you're here tonight on the show, we tried to put a little jazz embellishment on it. And yeah, the song is getting great reviews from what we did with it. Any major Jew will tell you. I mean, who doesn't like Steely Dan?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Steely Dan? From Pretzel Logic, great album, of course, you know. Yeah, he brought that to me. That's another song he brought to me. And there was no qualms about it. I said, yeah, any major dude will have a heart. I couldn't hear it at first because there's such a strong influence, Steely Dan, or what they do, Donald Fagen and Walter Becker. When they write a song, it's unless you do it exactly the way they do it or take it into another dimension, don't do it. So that's what we did. We took it to another dimension, and it worked. Great song.
Yeah.
Great.
When you cover a song, do you experiment with different versions of it?
Oh, yeah.
Does it come to you fairly?
No. I'm not Stevie Wonder. I wish I was, you know, but she does. He can hear something, and that, you know, on the way to the gate, they can say, you're going to be playing at a benefit for John Mayer at the Hollywood Bowl. Here's a CD of that song, and he'll have it before he gets to the Hollywood Bowl on the ride. It takes me a while. It takes me a while to feel comfortable with it because of the different genres I like to listen to. I have to filter them out first before I get to the one that I feel is going to be the one on the record. I just want to talk to you. I won't do you no harm. I didn't have to because God knows Hendrix has been done to death by everybody. I mean, he's like the Gershwin of rock, you know, Jimi Hendrix. But I put that on there because of the groove that I have with the cats that I play with. It's a blues 10 song because Jimmy comes out of that background, even though he was born in Seattle, you know, from the Isley Brothers to King Curtis. He had that shuffling groove thing, Memphis thing. And that song tells her, it's just shuffle. Came on the chord. So we decided to keep the shuffle that he did, keep the backbeat, and more or less follow the way he sang it. I'm a better singer than Hendrix is, but Hendrix is a stylist, you know, which as far as surpasses someone being a much better singer it does. I'm learning to become a stylist. The past few years, I'm learning to become a stylist. What I mean by that is when someone hears your voice, they know it's you. They don't compare you to anyone else. And when you hear Hendrix's voice, as much in the pantheons of vocalists, he can't compare with the Nat King Coles or the Pavarottis or the Robert Plants, whatever. But the minute you hear him sing, it's Jimmy. And it's hard to copy him because I just want to talk. He has that voice. So I try to stick to the way he follows a melody line, which is very droll, very down to earth, and very rootsy, you know. I just want to talk to you. I don't want to do you no harm. He sang that way. And so I try to keep that, not because I want to pay homage to him, because the audience won't accept anything else when you're doing Hendrix. You know, you can't hear Lady Gaga doing a Hendrix song in her style, or George Michael's, or you have to do a Hendrix song preferably the way he sang it. So I stuck to that.
Obviously, Nat King Cole is a major vocal influence. You've covered 2 albums of
I did.
songs. What is it specifically about his voice?
Nat King Cole, well, he just is pure lyric. I think it was Frank Sinatra was quoted as saying that, you know, everyone else sings standards. They sing a song that's a standard. Nat King Cole sings a song and it becomes a standard. He just had that thing about his voice that when he sang a song, he sang it exactly the way the composer wanted it to be sung. Frank did that, but on a few tunes he got a little with who wrote Night and Day. Cole Porter. And Cole Porter said he destroyed my song, you know. There has never been a composer who has come out and said Nat King Cole has destroyed my song. No, because he just had a way of just delivering a lyric, not just delivering it, making you understand it and taking you to the place that the composer wanted you. The composer wanted you to see that beach or Stardust. If you wanted you to see that, when Nat King Cole sang it, you actually were walking along that beach while he sang it. You know, you knew who Mona Lisa was. You knew Unforgettable. And these are some corny-ass songs. If he had recorded them, there's some corny tunes here. Lazy, hazy, hazy days of summer. You know, straighten up and fly, right? I mean, dumb songs that you and I, now, if they were recorded without him even recording them, we go, really? But he had a way of just delivering a melody and a lyric that put people in a very romantic trance. And he carried them through the whole song. He never deviated. Remarkable. So I decided to study him and him to be the bar for me. And it's really been wonderful because it's helped me not just deliver a lyric, but to let people understand what I'm saying and let people come to my shows and expect that from me. Not just the songs I sing of his, throughout the whole genre of the night. I wanna hear. Wow, I'm at a crossroad with that because I know where I want to go, but I'm scared to beat this dead horse. This is my second follow-up to my last album, Black Bar Jukebox. So this one, it's a follow-up to it, and I try to keep the same template. The song that I opened up with, the Black Bar Jukebox, I try to open up with the same type of song and follow that. And in jazz, people are fickle, you know, because they are well-learned, they're well-read, well-traveled. So you can't really pull the wool out over the eyes like you could in pop music. I love pop music, let me refrain that. But you have to be careful not to be too slick with them. So I'm really at a quandary of what I should do with my next project. I have an idea. I'm thinking of doing a number. I think I have more permission now with my audience to do a record that is just full of all of my original stuff. What direction I take in that, we'll find out in the middle of next year, okay?
Yeah. Allan Harris, thanks for your time.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, brother. Okay.
Now, I wanna hear and see everything.